Hi, I'm Renee. Welcome to Kitchen in the Shire. Today we'll be making chicken burgers, and we have a special guest with us today. It's my son Eric, who also goes by the name Swank in the kitchen world. So, all of the dogs have come in. This doesn't usually. Okay,
So
guys.
Today we're going to be making chicken patties. It's like So to start the prep, we have to start it out by getting an onion caramelized, and to do that we're going to get it julienned, and then we're going to cook it while we start assembling the rest of the dish. So you get your onion flat, and we're just going to cut it nice and thin.
What? Oh, that's awesome.
And then once that's good, we're going to get our pan heating up, and while that's going to heat up,
How much oil?
like 2 or 3 tablespoons. We're going to start the onions on low. If we were going to saute them, we'd probably want to heat the pan up all the way, but because we're not really trying to get that high heat quick cook on them, we want to let them cook nice and long so that it brings out the sugars. We are going to we are going to start it off in a cooler pan. So while the onions start to cook, we're going to get our garlic. This garlic is going to go in with the onions, but we're not going to throw that in until the onions have started to caramelize completely. And we're going to want to get this chopped up finely, because since we want it to be cooked the same amount that the onions are, and we're throwing it in after the onions have already been cooking, it needs to be smaller so that it cooks quicker. And then once we have a nice fine mince on there, we'll set that off to the side for a moment, and then we'll get our herbs chopped up as well. Our basil, this is fresh basil. And we're going to stack it all together, and then you roll it again. This way you keep a nice flat surface.
Pat it and mark it.
And we're going to get that chopped up. It can be fairly coarse. And then this is some flat leaf parsley. You grab your bundle of it and you wad it up as tight as you can. And then you go back down through with your knife. And those will be for the chicken patties as well.
I really think I'm knifing fast, and then I watch you do it, and I feel like I'm not. So what we're going to do is, when you're cooking onions, you don't typically add salt in the very beginning, because what the salt does is it makes them purge liquid. And when you're trying to caramelize something, you need it to have very little liquid. But where they're already sweated down, we're starting to cook the waters out. We can start seasoning it up. So that's cooking. We're going to do just another little drip of olive oil. And then we'll throw the garlic in there. Here, I'll give you the spoon. You can take over.
So these are cooking down nicely. And once they turn translucent, you can add in your garlic.
And how long do you think you put that garlic in? How long do you keep that in there?
Until the onions kind of caramelize, and they don't have to be completely caramelized. It can all be just on personal preference. A lot of meatloaf recipes, a lot of people just throw them in raw. I just happen to...
Yeah, no, I like it like this.
Yeah. I had an aversion to eating crunchy vegetables because my mother used to throw them at us when we were being unruly as children. So I like softer vegetables. So this is starting to kind of caramelize, and the best thing you can do when you're caramelizing things is to leave it alone as much as possible. The longer it sits and collects heat on that one point, the more caramelization you're going to get. But
Look how beautifully brown those are getting.
And this is going to go into the bowl. We're going to add in the herbs. And this is at about a tablespoon worth of Worcestershire to give it that burgery flavor. And then we have our ketchup, which is about a half a cup. Mono,
yes.
or Parmesan, or Asiago. This is about 3/4 of a cup of, this is seasoned panko breadcrumbs. This is seasonings. This is some dried oregano, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, and then my personal favorite seasoning of all time, which is Montreal steak seasoning.
And approximately how much of each one?
A teaspoon of each on the garlic and onion powder, and a tablespoon on the Montreal steak seasoning. And the paprika is about 2 teaspoons.
Okay.
So that's cool enough for the eggs. We're going to add those in. Get that mixed up. This is, the eggs are what is considered, the eggs and the breadcrumbs together are going to form what's called the binder. And the binder is what keeps the product from falling apart until the proteins can coagulate enough to hold it together itself. And if you don't think that's a fun word to say, I don't know what to tell you. That is about a cup of mixed, mild, and sharp cheddar. Like I said, you do want to get some sort of fat in here. You can use whatever kind of cheese you want. And then I make a well in the bottom of the bowl. Also, if you need to cool something quickly, this is how you want to do it. Is just to spread it out as thin as possible. And then we have 1 pound of ground chicken. Then we have that much pepper plus that much pepper. And then we have salt.
Should I start heating this up?
So we can get that heating up. When you mix it, upon first inspection, you may look at that and be like, that looks a little thin. And that's okay. The breadcrumbs just went in dry, and breadcrumbs absorb moisture, and so this is what the breadcrumbs are doing.
All right, so those need to sit for a minute?
Those need to sit for anywhere from, you know, a minute or two while you wait for the pan to heat up, or like I said, you could do that up ahead of time, and it would be perfectly fine. But we got the pan hot, and we're gonna add some oil, and you can always tell when the pan is ready, because I don't know, you probably
Yes,
won't
you
be
can
able
see it. No, he's got
Yeah.
it. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you can start to see snakes in the oil is what we were always told.
Oh, I see them. Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
The way the oil runs when you hold it up and down like that, I don't know, you probably can't see that, but when oil is ready to cook in, it runs like snakes in the bottom of the pan. We're going to patty this out, and we're going to want this fairly thin, and you can press it, and you can do these just like this in a cast iron pan, and you can do these on a grill. If you use just a regular amount of, not seasoning, but if you season your cast iron or anything like that, the protein will let you know when it's ready to be flipped. Like you can see that one's already kind of jostling around, and this one is not, because it was on a cooler spot of the pan. And so what you do is you just kind of slide it over, and you work with your equipment as best you can. But the protein will typically release from almost anything that it's cooking on when it has reached a proper doneness.
So do you ever watch the sides? Like I find that, like, so how far would you want that to go up the side to before you turn it?
About right there. This is got a little hot. Like I said, see that?
Oh, how weird.
Yeah, it's just because it's a smaller burner.
And so we're just gonna
You want to? Would it be better to switch to the bigger
Yeah,
burner?
maybe switch over to the bigger burner. The burner wasn't quite hot enough. It was a little bit too small for the size of the pan. And so what we're going to do, ooh, there we go, that's a good one, is that we're going to essentially turn that pan into an oven so that we can get some of the good rollover heat as much as we are anything else.
Is that not low enough? We've got
No, that's perfectly fine. So we're going to let that kind of steam itself a little bit in there. Another thing we can do, which we might actually do, is that we can splash a little bit of water in there, and that will actually kind of stop the caramelization process while continuing to cook. We're going to make a quick malt vinegar aioli. It's a fake aioli because we're starting off with mayonnaise as a base. This is just going to be for the top of the burner. So that's just about a cup and a half of mayonnaise. This is some malt vinegar.
What would make it a real aioli? Just
if we
putting
were
it
to start
together with the eggs
with
and
egg
everything.
yolks and olive oil
Okay.
and stuff like that. This is just more along the lines of like a quick on-the-fly sauce for your burger. This is about a tablespoon worth of hot sauce. We're going to give it a big squeeze of lemon.
Oh, that smells so good already.
And this is just a little bit of, this is about a teaspoon of onion powder. And we're going to match that with about a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then season it up with salt and pepper. Pepper and salt. This is probably ready for something.
Oh, that looks good. I can see the juice coming
Yeah.
out of.
There we go.
Oh, yum.
And so with this, we can see that that one is getting very close because it was on a little bit of a hotter spot of the part of the burner.
And what are you feeling when you're touching that?
With this, I'm just feeling for firmness. Chicken is cooked at an internal temperature of 165 degrees. The best thing you can do would be to grab your hand, make a fist, and then press right there, right in between the web of your forefinger and thumb, while lightly closing your fist, and that's about the firmness you want. Another thing you can do with most chicken is you can wait for the juices to run clear. And so when that one's cooked, we're going to put that piece of cheese on top of it. That one still does need a minute. And then we are going to go back to mixing up this.
Oh, that looks so good.
There we are. So that's good. And I'm going to get the cheese on that. And we're going to cover that back over for about another minute or so.
And oh, thank you. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's really good on French fries.
Oh, and the salt, it's perfect.
Check the burgers. See, that is just about there. Oh, definitely there on that one. And then this one, we're going to give it just another minute. So those are open. So we're going to pull that last burger out now.
Do you need butter or oil?
Oil. We're letting the meat rest, and typically, excuse me, what you want to do is you want to let the meat rest off the heat for approximately half as long as you let it cook for. Exactly.
And of course, this is all very healthy because you're using olive oil.
Yes, exactly. What I keep telling myself. So we got the buns. And what I like to do, I like to put the aioli under the meat. So I do that. And then we'll do a big
that looks so
honking
good.
piece of chicken. We're gonna do some banana peppers. A couple of pieces of lettuce. Bun. A bun.
Yay, they look awesome.
There you
Very nice. Oh boy, I can't wait to try those.
go. That's for you.
Okay, thank you. Doesn't that look yummy?
Mmm.
Oh my gosh. That is really good.
Mmm.
And don't forget, if you have a special request for a special recipe or something you'd like to learn about in the kitchen, just let us know, please, in the comments below. If you, I feel like Lucy. Are you tired?
Okay, you can say goodbye.
Goodbye.